All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
What else do I need on? All right. Can you see my screen?
Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Thanks for joining. All right. Thanks for joining us this morning. I really appreciate your time and your interest this morning.
No.
All right. There we go. So now we've got everything started, ready to go. Just a reminder to all of you who are joining in this morning, this meeting is being recorded. So not only are you going to be able to view it later, but I had a few people that were unable to attend this morning, and they'll get a copy of the video. I also, when you do the RSVP for meetings, all of the people whose email addresses I have in that list will also get this video to look at later, because I include a lot of links and information this morning, and that way you can go back and kind of peruse it at your leisure and look at all of the links in detail. So our chat box is being monitored this morning, so feel free to ask questions. We'll address those at the end of our coffee this morning. Grab
Só sobre cristianos aqui ou de todas as crianças no geral?
In person, I would be making you coffee. If you're not muted, if you'll go ahead and mute yourself now. All right, and then finally, please leave your email address and your child's name in the chat box, whether you want to receive the video or not. Leave the email and child's name. I am going to give a door prize today, so I want to know who to send that door prize home with after our meeting today. All right, let's see. Do we have pretty much everybody signed in by now, joining in? You can all hear this morning. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our agenda. Let's see, why is it not shifting?
You have to go here.
Oh, okay, it's a little different. All right, so this is our first coffee this year, our September coffee with the counselor. That's me, by the way. The kids call me Miss Jeannie, and you can call me Miss Jeannie as well. So this is a pretty ambitious agenda this morning. I'm not only going to introduce you to all of our staff members, but tell you a little bit about who they are. We have a lot of campus updates also included in today's coffee, things that are coming up quickly, actually. And then I always tell you in these coffees what I'm doing as a counselor, what socio-emotional lessons I'm working on with the kids, what we are learning about, and that way you can support this at home as well. So I am your host of all of these coffees at Salina Primary. They're always the first Tuesday of the month, except for the month of January. So anytime you RSVP ahead of time, I send you a reminder. And then you also get a copy of this actual slideshow as well as my notes, because I have a philosophy when it comes to meetings online, each one reach one. So if I have 20 people listening right now, I know that it's going to reach at least 40, because let's face it, you're going to go and tell somebody about this meeting, the good, the bad, the ugly, but you're going to say something about the meeting and perhaps share the notes with them as well. So again, thank you for joining in. So we're going to begin with the way we begin our day here at Salina Primary. We're going to do a quick breathing exercise. You're going to hear me talk a lot about breathing exercises this year. We start our day with taking deep breaths and letting them out slowly to get our mind focused. Now, you might have heard your child talk about pretzel and breathe. The pretzel part is simply taking their hands and making a little pretzel with it so they don't fool with anything else. It keeps them more focused. They're not worried about tying their shoe or, messing with someone's hair next to them. It helps them, but feel free to do a pretzel if you want to this morning as well. The chiming in part is this little chime right here. I have one next to me. You see it on the screen. It's actually called a Synergy chime, and you can get them on Amazon. It's just a little tool that we use. There's one in every single classroom on this campus. It's just a tool that we use when the kids hear that sound, it's not an attention getter. It's a sound that signifies it's time to focus. We're transitioning to something else. We're coming in for recess. And we say we got to get our wise leader in control. That's this part of the brain, and it's the part that helps us learn and make good decisions. So we're going to chime in. And then when I strike the chime, take a deep breath from your belly. I actually sometimes tell the kids, put your hand on your belly. And if you really are taking a deep breath, you're feeling your belly move. And then we're going to let it slowly out. So here we go. Let's focus. All right. Thank you for joining in that mindful moment with us this morning. I always ask the kids, is your brain ready to learn? Because it should be after we do our chiming in. So sometimes sometimes I closed my eyes just then. We don't ask kids to close their eyes, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they can't do the pretzel and they do this. It might look like they're praying or meditating, but we're simply getting our brains ready to learn. So who's who at Salina Primary? We have some new staff this year, and they're all new to you. So I'm going to quickly go through some of the people in the front office and when and why you might need their help one day. So the first person, of course, is our principal, Ms. Nancy Alvarez. She's been at Salina Primary since the first year this campus was reorganized as a pre-K kinder only campus. I feel so fortunate to work with her because she believes strongly in children first and helping our very youngest begin to develop the social, emotional skills they need to form healthy relationships and a love of learning. We are setting the baseline here. And we're lucky that she is able to join us this morning and tell us a little bit about some of the wonderful things she has planned for our children. Yeah, I have to. Yeah. Do you want to add to
I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here this morning. Miss Jeannie, if you haven't noticed already, she's amazing. She's probably the best counselor I've ever worked with. And I'm just really glad that you all have joined in. And I hope that you will continue to join in every month when she leads these parent coffees, because I always learn something new every time I am part of it. Just, hanging out here with her, I always learn. And I know that you will also learn from her as well.
In the next two, I have a couple of events you have planned.
Yes, there's always something going on at Salina Primary School, something fun. I'm going to say that I know that we're doing a lot of different things. So you just don't feel like you have to come to every single thing that we do. Just participate as much as your schedule will allow. So this week we have our Sweet Year Sock Hop, and it's our back to school dance. It's from 5 to 6, 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour is plenty. You will see why we do it for 1 hour, and that is plenty. This is a great time for you to come, and all those little friends that your child has been coming home and talking about. Now you can put a face to the name of the students that you've been hearing about, the new friends that they're making, and you can also connect with other parents as well. We encourage the students. It's like a 50s style, but you don't have to dress up unless you want to. We just did it for fun. And if parents want to join in and dress up, that's even better. And we'll have just a really good time. Our PTA will be there and they will be selling concessions. So if you want to bring some, they'll be selling like pizza and different things. And it's just going to be a really fun 1 hour. They're going to sleep well that night.
Yeah, I think the word when we talk about back to school dance, that's a loosely used term. So it's 1 hour where they run, they hop, they jump, they spin, they just have fun. Only 1 hour. And we have something else coming up soon.
Yes, so we also have our Salina Primary Annual. It's our color run that we have. And at the end of the school year, when you ask the students, like, what was your favorite memory from school? And this day is usually on the top one. So on this day, we're going to have, if you've never participated in a color run, this is a great example, a picture of what it'll look like. So students, they're going to run on the track, and while we try to douse them with with powdered colors, and they get all different colors. It's really, really fun. And this is a fundraiser for us. I hate asking for money, but unfortunately, if we want to do a supplement and have fun with our kids and do more things than our budget will allow, we have to have some fundraisers, and we only do 2 of them a year. So this is one of them. So I really encourage you all to support us as best as you can. On this day, we're going to allow parents to run on the track with us. So if you want to get, if you don't mind getting a little color on you, it'll be fun. We had last year was the first time we did it with families if they wanted to join in. So just make sure you look in their backpack if you didn't already. Last week we sent the packets home so that you can start collecting sponsorships for the color run, and it's just a really fun day for the kids. So we hope that you're making plans to come that day.
Like Nancy said, we know you can't attend every event, but this is one you might want to consider planning and go ahead and scheduling that day off now, because at the end of the year, when I ask kids, what was your favorite event all year? Hands down, this is the one they pick. It just makes a memorable day. So get your calendars marked now, request that day off. Now, another important person on our campus that's new to our campus this year is Miss Sarah Arrington. This is her first year at Salina Primary, even though she's worked in our district for several years. She was formerly the Salina ISD Likens Assistant Principal, and now she has the honor of not only being on our campus, but she's our first assistant principal. So we've grown so much in the last 2 years that we now need an assistant principal. And let me just tell you, we are so grateful to have her help and expertise on our campus this year. Miss Sarah, did you want to say anything?
Well, I just want to say welcome to everybody that came. And I agree so wholeheartedly with Miss Alvarez about Miss Jeannie. She's the most awesome counselor I've ever met. Your kids are lucky for her to be here for them. And I just look forward to a fun year. And Miss Alvarez didn't mention that we're going to have our community field trip on September the 19th.
It's coming up.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
here,
we
I
have
put it under,
There you
yeah, I
go.
put it for
We
you.
have something fun coming up. And I think the parents can actually join us for a picnic at Old Salina Park. So I look forward to meeting as many of you as we can on that day.
All right, so put this on your calendar now too, because some of you I know will be interested in joining for lunch. You can maybe take a little bit longer lunch break if you work close by and join us at the park. So another very important person on our campus that you probably have already met is Mr. Austin Grant. He is our new registrar. Mr. Grant is the person that you probably, when you register, talk to on the phone, or if you came in person, whose office you went to. This is his first year, and he has this office filled with all these awesome, colorful dinosaurs. So needless to say, he's a big hit with our kids on campus. They love his office. So moving right along, we also have our school nurse, Wendy Peary. Now, she is joining us. She joined us last spring at the end of the year. So she's a little more familiar with our campus, but to say she hits the ground running each day is an understatement. She literally runs from the moment she gets in until the end of the day. If your child has ongoing medical needs, you may have already met her. If not, you still will probably meet her at some point this year, because my new parents, if this is your first child, you will find out quickly that pre-K kinder students tend to be more susceptible to viruses, strep, tummy bugs, etc. This is some of them, their first exposure to being around a lot of other kids, and they haven't built up that immunity yet. So Ms. Peary says good hands hygiene practice can help slow down the spread of germs. That's her advice that she offered me for today's presentation. So she's absolutely right about that. Encourage your kids to wash their hands often. And my little caveat to this is, parents, please, if your child is on prescription medication or changes medication that's been ongoing, please let her know, because we never know. They're at school for quite a while during their day. They may have side effects, and it is so helpful if she knows this in advance, and like your child breaks out on a rash or something, she'll know perhaps what is going on and can contact you. All right, so Mr. Rivera. Mr. Rivera, the smiling, friendly face in the front office that greets you every time you come and join your child for lunch, let's say. This is his second year in that position in the front office, and he can help you with everything. If he doesn't know the answer, he does his best to find the answer. But I also want to point out to you in this presentation this morning, that link at the bottom, that's to our Salina Primary School Parent Guide. That's your 24/7 one-stop to answers. You know, if it's the weekend and you're trying to schedule days off, oh, I wonder if we have school next Friday, or if that's a day the students are off. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to ask Mr. Rivera. You can go to the parent guide and you find the calendars, the teacher's schedule. Oh, what time do they eat lunch? I want to join my child for lunch. The teachers have their schedules in there and their lunch times, everything, or their email addresses, how to contact them. It's a one-stop shop 24/7. So I would remember that link if I were you. And then we have Raquel Pierce. Ms. Pierce is not new to our campus, but new to the role as the secretary. She keeps us on track and she keeps everything running smoothly. If you want to make an appointment with Ms. Arrington or Ms. Alvarez, she can help you with that as well. And moving right along, let me scroll down here for a minute. Another person you want to make note of on our campus is Chief Proffer. Chief Proffer is our school resource officer, as that's what we mean when we say SRO. He is often seen on our campus. He loves to visit with our children. If you have any safety and security concerns or questions, those can be directed to him, and there is his email address as well. Oops, I skipped me. And this is me. This is me teaching a class. Actually, I skipped two. Let me go back up. So if you want to know a little bit about me, I have worked with elementary students for actually over 40 years. So do I need to say I love it? And it's my passion. It's been my life. I came to Salina, the city of Salina 5 years ago from Dallas ISD. And Salina is now my forever home. I live here in Salina. I love it. I love the community of Salina, and I love working with our little ones here at Salina Primary. I have 2 grown sons who live in Texas as well, and I have 4 granddaughters. So what do I do? What does this elementary school counselor do anyway? It's a little bit different than a middle or a high school counselor. Actually, it's a lot different than a high school or middle school counselor. So the list above gives you just a little bit of an idea what I do during my day. I work with the students, I work with the parents, I work with the teachers, and I work with the staff. I get the privilege of working with everyone. I do at times listen to students individually, but I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't do long-term therapy. I can give you resources though, if you feel like that's what's needed for your child. I have an excellent list of resources. I actually write and teach classroom SEL lessons, which stands for social emotional learning. We'll learn more about that in just a minute. I provide the teachers with the materials they use and the resources. I also provide you parents with resources and materials and suggestions. Every week I give you book suggestions if you're trying to build your own SEL library at home. I coordinate school-wide activities such as Kindness Month, that's February. Career Day, that will be at the very end of April, something like April 29th, I think, the very end of April. Don't be shy about already sending me emails if you're interested in that day. Red Ribbon Week, that comes up at the end of October. And then finally, Watchdogs Volunteers, dads of great students. So more about that later in our presentation this morning. And then I help the principal with our PBIS strategies. That's our positive behavior incentive strategies. You may have not have heard of that term before, but that's if your child came home one day last week and said, I got to eat a popsicle in Miss Jeannie's room. That was part of this. So what we do is we give out tickets every day for showing positive behavior. And if their ticket is drawn the next morning, they get some type of incentive. It could be a chance to go play games in my room. It could be a chance to get a little popsicle treat. It's different every month, but that's what they were referring to. It takes them a while to learn that not every ticket is pulled every day. So when they get a ticket, they go, Miss Jeannie, you didn't call my name. But eventually they learn that there's only 10 that's going to be pulled every day. And the next day it's a new group of 10. So that's what I do with that. And in addition to that, I can help you with a specific need. For example, if you need help with food or clothing or supplies, your family's had a life-changing event and you need some additional resources, I can help you with that. Fortunately, we live in a community that's very generous. We have lots of organizations that are so generous and willing to help and donate. And remember that all information you give me is kept confidential. So let's move on and find out about that SEL, social emotional learning. Well, the textbook definition, here we go. It's an integral part of education and human development. When we talk about SEL, it's the process through which all young children acquire and apply, the knowledge, the skills, and the attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, show empathy, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Wow, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? But let's face it, those are the things we do want our children to learn, right? Just as much as they're learning to read and to do math. These are the important things. All right, so they're all important. And this is an integral part of our day here, our curriculum. So let's look at just how we do that exactly. Is it kind of, oh, I'm leaning. All right, how do we incorporate SEL or social emotional learning experiences at Salina Primary? Well, the chiming in was one, believe it or not, that was one. You've already participated in one of these activities. We also do something called greetings at the door. That means that teachers stand at their door and they connect individually with each student as they walk in the door. It might be a high five, it might be a fist bump, it might be a little side hug, might be a wink of the eye. So they do this every morning and they try to say each child's name so that the student knows I'm important and my teacher is glad I'm here. And then they do something called morning meetings where they might sit in a circle and talk about what they did over the weekend. And the great part about that is students are learning to listen to others because they all want to share what they did, but they got to wait their turn. And they got to, really engage in what that student is saying and hear what they're doing. Mindful Mondays, that's part of that curriculum that I write for teachers where they have specific books they share. And sometimes I include those books in my newsletter that goes out on Friday. Also, we use a set curriculum that we borrow ideas from called Mind Up. You can look that up online. Mind Up is the actual curriculum book we use, as well as Salina ISD uses the Character Strong program with the character traits of the month. So we have a word of the month each month. This month, it's respect. Core breathing exercises throughout the day so that synergy chime is not just done once, but usually a minimum of 3 times a day. And then we have every teacher is provided with an SEL lesson, SEL library of the books we actually use in our morning meetings. So books that teach and reinforce positive relationship building. And then we do the PBIS using the tickets that I mentioned earlier. So we have lots of different things we do throughout the day. All right, moving along, I am so excited to announce this next thing in our Zoom this morning. Some of you may have seen it in the newsletters, Texas Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. I became very interested in this organization. Number one, I'm a grandparent myself. I realized that this is a group of people that's kind of left out and that need support. So this is our new support group starting here, but we are simply the host. We're the host campus, grandparents and and Ken, we call them, can from all the campuses are welcome to join in these meetings. Our first one went very well. The meetings are led by a lady called Patsy Rainwater Maddox. She's written, she's appeared before legislature and had laws passed. So she's very, very knowledgeable in the needs and the support that grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, even siblings who find themselves in the unique situation of raising another generation. You know, you reach that point where you're like, the last one finally flew the nest, you know, and then suddenly through some unfortunate event, you are now raising your grandchildren or your younger siblings even. We have that happening. So our next meeting is going to be an evening meeting. We'll see if that's better for some. It will be September 21st at 6 p.m. So if I don't have any grandparents watching, parents, you know anyone that's in that situation, please pass this information along to them. All right, moving right along. I am down here. And this is one that a lot of dads have already expressed interest in. All right, now notice I have two links here. So it stands for dads of great students, watchdogs. You are a volunteer. This is not just a come and watch thing that you sign up for. You too have to work. We put you to work. Your whole purpose is to provide a positive role model in our hallways. So besides becoming instant rock stars, because we've got, you know, this tall gentleman, let's say, walking down the hall, it's like, oh, who's that? Oh, is that your daddy? You know, your child will remember this forever, even if you could just, you know, volunteer one day a year. You become instant rock stars, and you also have the experience of getting firsthand view of what goes on in classrooms. Let me just tell you, at the end of the day, dads are like, Miss Jeannie, I don't know how these teachers do it. They go home exhausted. But if you're interested, it's just one day. You know, a lot of dads love it so much, they come back several times that their schedule allows it. And that's fine. There's no limit to how many days you can volunteer. There's a limit of days. It's only done on Mondays or Fridays. So if you want to know more about this, I'm doing a kickoff Zoom. We call it on September 13th. There's a RSVP. You can sign in for that, or you can just email me and I'll make sure you get an evite for that and can join us that evening. It will be very short. It's not a long meeting like today. It usually lasts about 15 minutes. That's it. And then if you are experienced watchdog dad, you've had 3 or 4 kids in our district, then no need to go through the RSVP Zoom meeting. Just click on the sign up genius to pick your days. And then even if you've done this before, you will have to do a new background check. You have to do that every year. And that is actually on the Salina ISD website just click on parents and then the volunteer tab underneath that. And that will take you to the background check. All right. Something else coming up tomorrow. That's how soon. College Swag Day. What is that? Well, I have no shame. There's my alma mater at the bottom. That's wearing something that's branded with your college logo. All right, so there's mine. Your child can wear the college themed t-shirt or jacket. Doesn't have to be for your school. It could be a school that you think they like or they're interested in, or they think their mascot's cool. But why do we do this? This encourages discussions about college because we are trying to create a college and career-minded culture. You can point out colleges when you're traveling. Hey, you might go to that college one day, or that's where mommy or daddy went to college. You can also, on these days, let's say you're joining your child for lunch, you can wear your college swag too. So it's just another step in, helping to prepare our children for the future. So that's tomorrow. And I'll be wearing my college t-shirt. So why would you ever want to contact me personally? Maybe your child's not wanting to come to school. Maybe he or she tells you that they have no friends and nobody wants to play with them. Often I find that's not true, but if in their mind they think they have no friends, I certainly can talk with them. That's what's important. My child's having difficulty learning at school, learning the procedures and the routines, AKA maybe some behavior problems. You want to talk with me about that. Or maybe your family has suffered a life-changing event. For example, it happens that we have unexpected deaths in the family or extended family, or a sudden job loss, or a sudden need to move, even if it's just moving in a new house in the same town. It's different routines, different sleep patterns. It affects you. It affects your child. So if you're a little off and worried or upset about something, guess what? They will be too. And it's really helpful to let the teacher know, for one, because they'll notice something different in class, and let me know as well. And I'm always happy to talk with them. This is not considered long-term therapy. It's just talking with them a couple of times and giving them a chance to express their worries and concerns about what has changed. So that last one is that we are new to the community and I'm unsure about proper protocols for events and celebrations. That's another reason why you want to contact me. We now have people moving into our district from all over the world. And we have some special traditions. Actually, we have some special traditions in Texas, y'all. I came here from working in Arkansas, and for homecoming, people wore these big things called moms. I had no idea. I didn't know what they were. I just wasn't up on the tradition. So what's the protocol for that? What do we do? So if you have any questions like that, feel free to call or email me as well. Email me is actually the best, and I'll get back with you. So here's our character strong word of the month, respect. And their definition of that is seeing value in all people and things and treating them with care. So one way we show respect is listening to others and what they have to say and being respectful of what they have to say. And we really are zoning in on that this month in our mindful lessons. How do you listen mindfully? What does that mean? So you can reinforce this at home about encouraging your kids to share about their day. If you eat dinner together, you can do that at dinner time. Don't forget to share your moments too, and they have to practice listening to you. So an oldie but goodie fun listening game. Dr. McGlesko reminded me of this the other day. Simon Says. That's an oldie but goodie. It's great for listening, right? They have to really zone in on what you're saying. And man, that's a great game to play, like when you're listening in line or waiting in your car for Big Brother to get off of soccer practice or something. That's a real easy one to do. So my book picks. This is always my favorite part of any presentation I do because I love books. I love children's books, and I have quite a collection. Can I just say Amazon visits daily? All right. So Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. I haven't done this one in a while, but I was reminded how cute this is for teaching about respect, because Lily's teacher wouldn't let her share when she wanted to share, and she got mad at her teacher, which is okay. It's okay to be mad. But then she drew a nasty picture of her teacher where he was like, she gave him like a funny face or something and funny hair. She did something funny in the story. And she called him Mr. Mean Teacher, I believe is what she did in her picture. So it's real. And then she felt so bad for being so disrespectful. So how does she solve that problem? A really cute read aloud for your home library, as well as Chrysanthemum. And, the kids weren't respectful of her name that was different but beautiful. She learned to appreciate her name. Oh, those are both by Kevin Hinks, by the way. He is a great author. And then the Crayon Box That Talked, that's a little bit longer, but really another great book for your collection. Your older kids would like that one as well. Now, supporting social emotional learning at home. I will always give you tips throughout the year on how you can do this. We practice identifying, managing big emotions all year long because this is such a big, important milestone. Do we know adults that still can't manage their emotions? Yep. So this is very important. When kids come to visit me in my classroom, the first thing they do is they go to the feelings chart and it says, how do you feel today? And there's all these emoji faces. They have to pick the one. There might be one that says happy, surprised, shocked, scared, mad, angry, lots of different types of faces. And there's even some cute little gingerbread faces. They can pick the one they want. And very often they do pick happy, which I'm glad, but then I make them tell me, why did you pick happy? What's making you happy today? They have to identify, what is managing that emotion, and that will help them learn with coping skills as well. So these are steps for you at home. Hey, the breathing exercise we just did this morning, you can do that at home too. Let your kids see it. You want to use the term wise leader? Go for it. My wise leader is in control, or maybe my wise leader is not so in control. I need a little break. Let your child know when you're upset and angry, when you need to calm down. We're not all happy all the time. That's okay. So spend some time telling them your best moments. I sometimes call that sunshine. And then tell them they're not so good, your not so good moments, if that's appropriate. Because let them know that I call that clouds, sometimes sunshine and clouds. Let them know every day is not going to be sunshine. Sometimes we kind of have a sad day or a mad day or a grumpy day. We just finished doing a lesson on grumpy monkey, and they really enjoyed that. So I always include a link as well if you want to read more about it. This was one of my favorite ones on identifying and managing emotions, and from the pragmatic parent. There's a lot out there, but this was one of my favorites. You can look at that later. Now, someone is going to take home this book today. You see on the screen, and I have it right here. It goes home in someone's backpack, either today or if I somehow run out of time tomorrow. And it goes with this activity. Everybody needs a rock. This is a great book. It's different. It's not super colorful, but it's a good read aloud. You can see it doesn't have a lot of color to it, but it's not so much the pictures, but what it says. So it's a great story. You can tell your kids at night. If you're going on a trip, like a hiking trip, let's say, and you find a dry creek bed, everybody's got to pick a rock. Oh, but not just any rock. There are 10 rules for picking the rock. You have to find the perfect shape, the perfect color. You have to feel your rock. You have to smell your rock. And they find that one perfect rock. They can only pick one, and then later share with each other why they chose that rock. And you could bring those rocks home as a special memory of your trip. And so there's the link there to the activity on the blog site that I found it. And I just thought it was so cool. I love to hike, by the way. So that's probably another reason why I like it, And I remember when my kids were little and we went hiking, they wanted to take a ton of rocks home, be like and we wanted to say they all look alike, but in their little minds, they were all special. They loved taking home rocks. So that's my suggestion. Look, please, when you get the link to this, look at this activity. And then, of course, since managing emotions is an ongoing activity all year long, here are my picks on that type of reinforcement at home. This would be great for your home library. The Color Monster, it comes in a pop-up form too, which I think is so super cute. So when you're ordering, if you're going on Amazon, be sure you get the pop-up if you can. I'm not even sure there's a big difference or any difference in price, but some of them are the pop-up and some of them are not. Some of them are board books. And then the Very Hungry Caterpillar from my pre-K parents out there. This is an awesome one. I think, yes, I did bring it this morning just to let you see. It's a little bitty book, but it doesn't have many words on the page, and it's super colorful. And it talks about feelings, and the little caterpillar calms down. Very, very cute for pre-K. It's a good one that you read over and over and just look at the pictures and talk about them. And then this one I suggest all year long. This is, we can feel more than one emotion at a time. We can have a happy day, but be sad. Our best friend couldn't come to our birthday party, So this is a great one, real cute about, having more than one feeling. And then I have something for you, parents, because I don't want to leave you out. You have to take care of yourself as well. Did you realize that? You can't be your best for your kids if you're not feeling at your best. So we have to remind our teachers this all the time because, they want to come early and stay late, but they have to take care of themselves and their families as well. And just little things you can do each day can contribute to your overall well-being and taking care of yourself. And I always try to share tips about that each month. I'm not talking about a fancy spa day or dad's a fishing trip for the weekend. I'm talking about just the little things you do for you. One of the things I do is I always bring water to my office. I'm talking about bring a case. So I always have it on hand because staying hydrated is one of the most important things you can do for yourself every day. So if you get those afternoon headaches and slumps, you know, you think it might be a time to run to the coffee shop, but it could also be a sign of dehydration because sometimes we get so busy, we forget to drink water. So I got mine right here. And if I have it readily available, I'll be more likely to grab a bottle of water when I get that headache. And you could, if you are more into water bottles instead of plastic bottles, you know, just get one that appeals to you, one that's labeled with your name. You can infuse it with fruits and vegetable flavors, have it delivered to your home. You know, I have it delivered to my home. True confession here, because I go to the store and then I forget to buy it. You know, so I just automatically have it delivered and I just bring the cases to school. Ladies, just a tip for you, dry, brittle hair, dehydration, drinking more water will also help with that too. So that's my tip for this month and taking care of yourself. Now we're going to switch for just a moment to our wonderful PTA. If you haven't already heard, this is our new PTA Vice President, Miss Abigail Frank. She's a lovely lady. We hope you will consider partnering with our PTA this year. We have always been blessed to have a very active and involved PTA at Salina Primary. So if you're looking for a way to become engaged in your child's school, if you're new, this is your first child in school, this is an excellent way to do that. And Miss Frank is probably one of the nicest ladies you will ever meet. She's very sweet and kind. And if you tell her you're talented in something, she will find a way to put your talents to use. And these are her membership levels, or their membership levels they're offering this month. They will have 2 membership levels with different bonuses. The first is the $20 membership fee, which includes Bobcat bumper sticker. And then the $30 fee, which is Bobcat bumper sticker and a cute Bobcat t-shirt for your student that they can wear on Spirit Days. And then there's also a teacher level. So I guess that would include, would that include teachers at other schools? It could. I need to ask her that. I hadn't even thought about that. And then a little bonus to this, the class with the most members signing up before September 30th will win a popsicle party. So you can sign up for PTA anytime, but if you want to get your membership to count toward your child's class winning the party, you need to do it before September 30th. All right, so looking ahead, here's what we got coming up. This is one of those slides you want to go back and make sure you have these dates right. Tomorrow, college jersey, back to school dance the following day. Watchdog training Zoom meeting next week. And the following week is when we actually start having watchdog visitors on our campus, Mondays and Fridays only. And then on the 19th is the field trip. October 4th will be our next coffee with the counselor. Please come back. Please come back and join me. And then another college awareness day, homecoming, no school day, as well as a pre-K. We didn't leave them out. They get their field trip in October. And then the color run, our most special day. All right. Now we are finally have arrived at share time. Ms. Alvarez, do you have some questions that you need to answer?
I didn't see any questions in the chat box. I've been monitoring it, just a lot of, we got the emails so that we can do the prize. So somebody who participated today will be able to win that prize, the book that she shared about the rocks.
All right. You can also, you know, if you do the rock activity, I would love a picture of it. Send me a picture. You can always send me photos. And if you give me permission, I'll incorporate it in our slideshow so others can see that it went successfully, or maybe it didn't, and we need to know that. And book finds as well. You know, if you show me a new book, you know, that you have found and said, Miss Jeannie, this would be great for teaching emotions or for teaching respect. I love this book. This was our favorite. I love those kinds of suggestions. So please feel free to send those in. And once again, I thank you so much for joining in this morning. I hope I see you back in October. Bye.
Bye. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for joining in.
Bye. Thank you.
Yes, thank y'all very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Let's see, where's my lead button here? Where'd you go? Well, we'll stop video.